Do you all notice that when you're playing hard to get with a man and probably the man came to meet you first and like trying to get your attention, trying you to like him and all of that, but when you start playing hard to get, like the man will give you all the attention in the world, but when you just give him that attention by giving back the energy he's giving you, all of a sudden you start moving back. That's when he knows that he's busy. The work that he was working, the same job that he was doing, he start telling you, oh, work is tiring, I'm tired, I'm busy, blah blah blah. Let me go ahead and play this video for you all to watch, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Maybe it's just me, please let me know. In my 26 years of living, I have come to the conclusion that men have this sick obsession with you when you play hard to get, when you come off as mean, when you don't acknowledge them, act like they're invisible, don't even look their way, and then when you finally give them a chance, and maybe you end up liking that person, your sweet side come out. Maybe you might even be a little bit vulnerable. Then they don't like you anymore. Somebody make it make sense. Please. 90% of men love women who treat them like shit. And this goes back to like, oh, my heart got broken in 5th grade. Like, or my baby mom went and had sex with my homeboy. I hate her. I hate my baby mom. I hate the girl who broke my heart in 5th grade. But really, deep down inside, they're still in love with them. Men love women who treat them like shit.
Where is the lie? Because this is always true. Most of the time it is always true. When you start giving them the energy to give you the whole attention, when you start liking them back and you start trying to do everything for them, they always tend to move back. That is when they, you know, relax. They do as if they don't like you, do as if you are disturbing them. They will start ghosting you and all of that. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Myra David and I am back again with another interesting video. Let me go ahead and know your thoughts and hear your thoughts about this particular topic down in the comment section. There's a particular lady that actually stitched this video. I'm going to play a stitch first. She kind of explained the science around it, so let's go ahead and watch interesting stitches on this particular topic. At the end of all the stitches, I will share my own opinion.
Men have this sick obsession with you when you play hard to get, when you come off as mean.
Okay, guys, I look a crazy-ass mess, but I just had to get on here and explain because this is becoming a common issue. The girls are asking, and I found the answer. So apparently, when a woman is in love, or what makes a woman fall in love is the release of dopamine and oxytocin. So this can happen when dopamine is released when you're just happy. You can eat food or whatever makes you happy, you'll release dopamine. But oxytocin is released for women when they have, you know, do things like having sex with somebody. Now men, their love hormone is released when they release dopamine like women, but a hormone called vasopressin. So vasopressin is a hormone that's released in men that make them fall more in love. But guess what releases that for them? It's not sex. So women are out here sleeping with men, think that the more that they sleep with them, the more they're going to fall in love with them. Or they're out here doing nice acts for men. Oh, I'm going to do this for him. Oh, I'm going to do that for him. I'm going to be loving. Thinking that that's going to make them fall in love with them, because if a man does that for a woman, that's what makes us fall in love. But it's not the same the other way around. Vasopressin, a man's love hormone, is released when a man is stressed. Can you believe that? So the reason why men are like weirdly obsessed with you when you ignore them or when they have to chase you is because it's releasing a love hormone. The stress of not having you is actually making them love you more. Not only is vasopressin, a man's love hormone, released when they're stressed, it's released when they have high volumes of sodium in their body. So like basically if they eat, obviously if you eat, you're increasing sodium levels in your body. And I guess that's where the term comes from. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So if you're feeding your man and stressing him out, he's gonna love you. But let's push the food shit to the side. The things that we as women have to get together and collectively understand, because this is a scientific thing. Look it up yourself. I went into a rabbit hole finding this shit. I was like, oh. But the thing that we as women have to understand is all that lovey-dovey shit, oh, I'm going to do this for him, oh, I'm going to kiss his ass, is going to make him slightly appreciate you, but that does not release the love hormone. These men don't even know why the women that stress them out and don't want them are the women they want the most. They couldn't tell you because it's a biological thing. It's science. And if you don't know the research like I did a couple of weeks ago, you would not know that. So on paper, you're like, oh, I'm going to do all these nice deeds and they're going to love me because when he does that, I love him more. But that releases oxytocin in you. That's what makes you love. We need to release vasopressin. So we need to stress these niggas the fuck out. So all the men in your DMs that are chasing you, keep ignoring them, love, because that chase, that stress is releasing more love for you. It's such a fucked up concept, but science said it. I ain't make the rules.
Men have this sick obsession with you when you play hard to get, when you
She is absolutely right. Let me tell you, I have really bad text anxiety. I hate texting back. It stresses me out. So I try not to do it. I'm a FaceTime girl. Anyway, when I first started talking to this boy was putting so much energy and he'd be really quick to respond and I would take so long. So I felt bad and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start putting the same energy as him and I'm going to start texting back quicker. You feel me? Once I started doing that, this boy actually went to change up how like he was texting and like his energy and taking mad long to respond. And me, I'm very petty and prideful when it comes to men. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that is what it is. So anyway, I tell my friends, you know what? If he takes 2 hours to respond, I'm gonna take 4. If he takes 4 hours to respond, I'm gonna take 8. And after 8, I'm not texting back until he gives me a double text. So they were like, no, you're gonna fumble the bag, and I was like, no, I'm doing it. So when I started doing it, he got his act right and started giving me so much energy. And I'm just like, why? Like, why is that? Because I'm trying to match your energy and now you acting up. Like, be for real. But the girl explains it so well, like the whole chemical reasoning behind it and the whole like societal reason behind it. But anyway,
Men have this sick obsession with you when you play hard to get, when you come off as mean.
That's what makes you love. We need to release vasopressin. So we need to stress these niggas. So all the men in your DMs that are chasing you, keep ignoring them, love, because that chase, that stress is releasing more love for you.
Ladies, listen, I have been on TikTok for over 2.5 years, teaching you guys that love is a science, teaching you the formula based in science that I discovered after going on a dating experiment of going on 100 dates in 3 months and interviewing over 4,000 men, women, and couples. Science is my jam. I graduated pre-med biology. I was going to be a cardiologist. Then I served as a pharmaceutical sales rep where I had to study studies for a living. And the reason why I did the dating experiment is because I kept bombing when it came to love. I kept attracting Build-A-Bears. I kept attracting men who mistreated me, who abused me, who used me. And I figured that science is indisputable, that if I could figure out the formula based in science, that I could attract any man I wanted to and do it in a short period of time. And what I ended up finding during my experimentation is I actually found the formula where I could get any man to fall for me in less than 30 days. Now, I'm going to break down to you the correct information because I'm happy to see that there are more and more women that are acknowledging that love is a science and that there is a biochemical process to why a man chooses a woman, how he falls in love, and how to get that man to want to pursue you, pour into you, and fully commit to you. However, there's a lot of false information that's going around. Like in this video, she was absolutely correct. Oxytocin and dopamine are involved for a woman falling in love. Vasopressin and dopamine are involved when a man falls in love. However, that's where we go left. Because when you're teaching women that by feeding a man a bunch of salt and stressing him the hell out, then that's how he falls in love, then that's absolutely incorrect. And even the whole part about being a damsel in distress, that's not it. And at this point now, we're just throwing darts on the wall. So let me tell you specifically, what is the deets? What are the information on attraction and how to really get a man to produce that vasopressin that causes him to want to commit, protect, and provide for you? Here goes. So in my research, because I've studied a ton of studies and a ton of experts when it comes to the science of attraction, my top favorites are Helen Fisher, Don Maslar, and Dr. John Gray. Gotti is another great one. He talks mostly about relationships and how to keep the fire alive in the relationships. But those 3 are the main ones. So if you ever want to verify the information that I provide for you, all you have to do is Google those 3 individuals. So let's talk about Don Maslar because she's one of my favorites and she really breaks down the science and reinforces everything that I've been teaching you guys about why it's important that you operate a certain way when it comes to love, dating, and relationships because of biochemically how we fall in love. So according to Don Maslar, the only reason why we fall in love is because of neurotransmitters, norepinephrine, that is released in the brain when we fall in love. That neurotransmitter allows us to eliminate fear. Fear when you're talking to the individual, fear when the man is approaching you, fear when you are receiving his efforts in order to court you. However, that neurotransmitter also causes you to feel the feeling of fight or flight. Feel like your heart is palpitating. Feel stress in a way. Now, a lot of ladies who continue to attract dysfunctional relationships, they are literally addicted to two of the neurotransmitters, which is norepinephrine and oxytocin. But we'll get into that more later on. So that hormone is triggered when a man starts to pursue you. However, what drives that man to pursue you is testosterone. Testosterone is the hormone that's the hunter hormone. That's what allows the human race to continue to procreate. Testosterone is his sex drive. He pursues you because why? He doesn't know you, ma'am. So he's interested in sex. Estrogen drives a woman to want sex. But sex is the main driver when a man initiates contact with you. So there's no such thing as love at first sight. There is lust at first sight, according to Helen Fisher. And that lust is what leads us to the next phase of relationships, from their attraction phase to the courting phase, according to Dr. John Gray. And in the courting phase, he is getting to know you. As he is getting to know you, as he's pursuing you because he's trying to have sex, what happens biochemically is that his testosterone starts to drop. His dopamine starts to go up. Vasopressin starts to go up. And he starts to move from his primary driver being sex to him wanting to form a bond and a connection with you. However, his body hasn't caught up to that process yet. Because he has a surge in the vasopressin and in the dopamine, that means that his body needs to make more receptors. Receptors are what hold the hormone or the neurotransmitters that allows the body to biochemically tell the brain to fall in love, to really care about you, to want to protect you. In order for a man to produce those neurotransmitters, it takes him roughly about 2.5 to 3 months minimum to be able to catch up with producing enough receptors to catch all of the vasopressin and the dopamine that is floating around in his system from falling into you. Now, according to the science, and you can look this up, Don Maslar, if you have sex with him too soon, then his vasopressin starts to drop. You don't want vasopressin to drop because vasopressin is what causes him to bond to you. Now, as his testosterone is dropping, another hormone involved called serotonin is dropping too. Let me tell you the significance of these two hormones. When his testosterone is dropping, that means he's becoming more nurturing. More like a woman, if you want to say. His serotonin dropping means he's starting to have obsessive thoughts about you. He can't help but to think about your beautiful face. He wants to spend time with you. He wants to make you happy. Matter of fact, when a man is making you happy, when he's sowing into you, doing and giving to you, then that causes him to release dopamine. And that again is associated with the masculine energy of doing, giving, pursuing. Because everything in nature has a frequency and a vibration. The vibrational frequency of testosterone is what we call masculine energy. The vibrational frequency of what we call estrogen is feminine energy. And feminine energy is a receptive energy. So when you move into that receptive state of receiving his advances, of allowing him to pursue you, to give to you, to make you happy, that causes him to become more attached to you and to start to really fall in love with you. It starts to release more and more dopamine. But the body, again, needs to catch up to receiving that dopamine by producing the receptors. This is the reason why, ma'am, why you want to wait before you have sex. Because his testosterone needs to keep dropping. As his testosterone drops, that's what allows other receptors that are present to be free to receive vasopressin. When there's too much testosterone in the system, it blocks his falling in love hormone, vasopressin. So if you really want to know how to be able to clear those receptors and cause an increase in more of the vasopressin receptors, then that requires time. And that requires for him to be in the spirit of doing, giving, and being interested in you. How do you get a man to do that? By creating curiosity and anticipation. When you create that curiosity and that anticipation, that's what keeps him hooked enough until his receptor sites catch up, so that vasopressin now starts to affect his brain, so that this man starts to want to eliminate all other options. Because he produces vasopressin, that means that he is fully capable of being monogamous. And when that testosterone drops, that means he's no longer interested in other women and other options. And because the vasopressin is there, now vasopressin, when it's released, it causes mate guarding. That means that he is going to guard what is his. He does not want to have to compete with another man, which is going to make him want to commit to you. If he's not committing to you, if he's not interested in wanting to commit to you, biochemically he hasn't fallen for you. That means he is not worried about the threat of somebody taking you, which means that if you have sex with him before he has desire to commit to you, then you are putting yourself at a disadvantage. I will continue to educate if you guys are interested in why women have way more to lose and biochemically what happens to a woman as she falls in love. I hope this helps.
So vasopressin is a hormone that's released in men that make them fall more in love. But
go back and watch the whole video because she's so spot on. But she goes on to say that vasopressin is released when men are stressed. About a month after my now husband and I met, he was stationed in South Korea in the Air Force, and I was living in LA. We were technically not still dating, but we spoke every day, like for hours. But he did end up telling me that he hooked up with someone while he was there. I ended up having a stronger reaction than I expected to, because we were technically still friends and neither of us wanted a long distance relationship, or at least that's what we told ourselves. I ended up crying and telling him, hey, I need a few hours to not talk to you to figure out how I feel about this. He was stressing the F out. And I didn't do it on purpose to make him feel a certain way. I was just literally taking my time to journal, to talk to my best friend, to figure out, why exactly am I this upset? Do I really like him more than I thought I did? But hours later, he was still texting me though. Hours later, I finally called him back and I said, hey, I'm ready to chat. And I straight up told him, I clearly like you a lot more than I thought, and I'm wanting a relationship and not this pretend friendship anymore. If you want this, that's great. If not, let's just move on. He told me that he had anxiety all day and he was stressed out about never having like a relationship with me again, never talking to me again, was stressing him the hell out. And guess what? That is the day we made it official. We started dating. 10 months later, we got married. 4 years later, we have a baby.
Men have this sick obsession with you when you play hard to get.
So the first creator is saying that men have a sick obsession with women who come across mean or play hard to get. The second creator stitched and explained that it's because men fall in love by dopamine and vasopressin is a byproduct of stress. Now, this is why I say, ladies, it is important that you actually be hard to get. I highly do not recommend playing hard to get. Because those of you who play hard to get are actually sprung and pressed on the inside, and the minute he starts to reciprocate, all of that goes out the window and you are over-invested once again. Being hard to get, on the other hand, just has to do with being fully embodied in who you are, content with your life as it is, and having enough inertia on your singleness that you're not just going to jump into any relationship that comes your way.
The other woman explaining everything about love, love, man. All this for a man. All this for a man to love us. And if you really watched, I feel like my insight when it comes to a man falling in love has changed when I listen to Priscilla, the Queenmaker, saying that men are incapable of love. As in, they're incapable of love. And she's like, men always want something from you. Their own is, I want this. They do not listen to women. They do not listen to what we want. they always want to be superior, they want to lead, they just want to, like, men are just generally incapable of love. And I've not seen any man that has, out of all the interviews that she has done with different men, that is Princella the Queenmaker in her podcast, I've not seen any man that actually debunk that statement. At the end of the day, they don't have anything to say. So you can truly say that men are incapable of love. So all this love and this one, this hormones, blah blah blah, at the end of the day, they will still show you shaggy. Shaggy is, they will still show you a problem. They will still look for they will still hurt you. So why go through those stress? If you want to be in a relationship, as the last stage said, you don't have to like play hard to get. Like, naturally you're not hard to get, you're just playing hard to get just because. But if you've known who you are, you know what you want, like you are happy with yourself, you single or not, when it comes to a man, you just like, when you see that he's already giving you that, you just walk away and that's it, and you don't take him back. That's like self-respect to me though. But then this particular video, I had to divide it into two. This is the women reaction. The men, I have their stitches as well, so I'm going to do another video posting the men reaction. If the men actually going to agree that is how they fall in love, let us know. So I'm going to go ahead and do another video for that. And this on this particular video, that's the another stitch on this particular video. But then let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. But I personally, I agree with the fact that when a man is interested in you and you're like not interested, and the moment you be like this guy likes me, it has happened to me before. Yeah, it has happened to me before. The moment you like turn and be like, oh my god, I think this guy actually like me, my shakara is too much, let me just give him the same energy, the same time, the same thing he's giving me, let me just, you know, respond back, you know. That moment, that is when they just give you that distance. That is when they just switch, and you be like, it's not look as if you are the one disturbing them. It's look as if you are the problem. It's look as if you are the one that went to meet them first, that you like them. But that is not how it was, because you're the one that like and now you're like, okay, let me like you. Then they just switch. It's crazy. I totally agree. I feel like that it must have happened to almost every woman. I feel like, because that is how men behave, that is how they behave, so it's normal. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section. Do you agree with the science around it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'll see you all in the part 2 of this video where we watch what the men has to say about this particular topic. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and please, when you subscribe, can you turn on the post notification bell so you can get notified each time I upload a new video. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.